We're going to talk to Simon Rose now, because it's been a hard time for savers recently, those who are financially prudent enough to have some cash in the bank. Have, in most cases, seen the real value of their savings fall over the last few years. Simon Rose is from the campaign group Save Our Savers. He's on the Bernsey Show this morning. Simon, morning to you.
Good morning, Bernsey.
Has the budget done anything for savers?
Not one bally thing.
Right.
No, it hasn't. It's just continued the appalling theft of savers. I mean, what's happening to people who have any savings? And you have to remember, many of these are people who've actually retired and are trying to live off their savings, who have no way of getting in any extra income for the rest of their lives, has been quite appalling over the last 4 years since interest rates were cut to 0.5% by the Bank of England. We reckon that savers have lost the equivalent of £220 billion. That's about 25 times the cost of the Olympics. And while it's appalling for savers, it's actually dire for the economy. We would argue this is why we have had no growth, and however much the Chancellor tinkers in these silly budgets of his, we aren't going to see any growth, because we're so heavily in debt that the people who are in debt can't really go out and spend much, and the savers who might have been spending daren't now, because the situation is just so precarious for them. It's a terrible situation.
So there's no way the savers could think, right, well, I'm going to do my bit, I'm going to spend my money and stimulate the economy.
Well, that is exactly what the Bank of England said they thought would happen when they cut interest rates. Savers will think, oh, no point in saving anymore, I'll go out and spend. And it is an asinine idea thought up by people who are theoretical economists but don't understand how human beings behave. If you've only got a limited sum of savings, you're not going to go out and spend them. If you're worried about where the money will come from in the future, totally the opposite effect. It's really terrible. I feel very sorry for those people who are unable to replenish their savings, particularly the ones who've retired.
Have you any advice for them? Any tips or tricks?
Well, I mean, many savers do have their money in accounts that pay next to nothing. You can get a little bit more than that. It's impossible now as a cash saver to actually beat inflation, which is why we're all feeling poor, because inflation's doing so badly. But do make sure that at least you're getting the best available rate, so that you're losing your money less quickly, rather than the people who are still in accounts on something like 0.1%.
Could he have done anything yesterday?
Well, yes, he could really have tackled Britain's debt. He talks about it a lot, but what he kept very quiet about is the fact that our debt is soaring. This government's going to borrow more in 5 years than the previous one did in 13. We are heading to a total disaster. And, it's like the captain of a ship just deciding to put a blindfold on and, playing with the wheel, expecting somehow we're going to miraculously emerge the other side. We are drowning in debt, and the economy is not going to advance while that anchor of debt is just holding us back.
Where can people read more about Save Our Savers, Simon?
Simple website, saveoursavers.co.uk, free to join. We're here to defend savers. Please come and join us. At least somebody is looking out for your interests, even if the Chancellor isn't.